When I received that text message, the turmoil in my heart made it hard for me to calm down. The message was short but urgent. Can you lend me some money? Card number 616. Triplex. The message from Liu Ruyan, the most gentle and beautiful woman in the world. After a brief hesitation, I transferred all the savings in my card, including my meal money for today, a total of 35,201 yuan, all transferred to her. I always thought to myself, Liu Ruyan must really be in trouble. Otherwise, she would always ask me for help. All sorts of ominous thoughts swirled in my mind. Did she go bankrupt unexpectedly? Was she blacklisted by a big shot? She couldn't have been kidnapped, could she? The more I thought, the more worried I became. Looking back, I saw the moon of my hometown. The phone suddenly rang at this moment. It was a call from Liu Ruyan. Nervous emotions surged like a tide. Liu Ruyan and I hadn't seen each other in 7 years. How should I face this sudden reunion? What tone should I use to answer the phone? The phone continued to ring incessantly. I simply took a deep breath and pressed the answer button. However, the Anti-Fraud Center reminds you, fraud methods are ever-changing. Raise your awareness of prevention. Remember the 3 don'ts and 1 do principle. Don't click on unknown links. Don't trust calls from strangers. Don't disclose personal information. Verify carefully before transferring money. The voice on the other end was not Liu Ruyan's, but a reminder from the Anti-Fraud Center. I instantly froze in place. A mix of emotions flooded my heart. I actually got scammed. My hard-earned money, my precious darling money. The voice on the other end continued to remind. Dear Mr. G, may I ask if you've remembered? I was momentarily stunned, my mind hazy. Remembered. Then please repeat it once more. I think I forgot again. Ha ha ha, I gave an awkward laugh, muttering to myself. They didn't say I had to recite the whole thing, did they? All right, he's just a little silly. A familiar voice broke the silence, with a hint of helplessness in her tone. Dear classmate G Boda. It's been so many years, why are you still so silly? Liu Ruyan's gentle voice came through the receiver, making me flustered and nervous for a moment, unsure how to respond. You've transferred all the money to me. Won't your wife make you kneel on the washboard? Liu Ruyan chuckled softly with a hint of mischief in her tone. I realized something. My face involuntarily flushed red. Then you give it back to me, I stammered. She chuckled softly and replied, All right, I'm currently recording a show. Talk to you later. Her voice carried a hint of magnetism, coming from the phone once again. Immediately after, she added, Don't forget. Scared by the anti-fraud reminder, my face immediately turned red again. The call ended before I could think much. I received a transfer notification. Liu Ruyan transferred 5.2 million yuan to you. I stared at the long string of numbers on the screen. My eyes went blurry. I rubbed my eyes and counted again. Unbelievable, I pinched myself. It really hurt. This really isn't a dream. I rubbed my eyes and confirmed the number on the bank account. 5.2 million. Liu Ruyan, did you really install the anti-fraud app yourself? My thoughts drifted back to that summer 7 years ago. I lent Liu Ruyan 520 yuan. She smiled and told me that when she became famous, she would pay me back 5.2 million yuan. I thought it was just a joke. But today, that number really became a reality. 5.2 million yuan might be a drop in the ocean for her, but for an ordinary worker like me, with a monthly salary of 3,500, whose life is bitterer than coffee, this is simply an astronomical figure. This huge sum suddenly became a hot potato, leaving me at a loss. After much hesitation, I sent a message to my brother. He immediately called me back, his voice full of excitement. Damn, brother! So that big fool was you! Why did you never tell me? That you knew Liu Ruyan? I was stunned. What fool, brother? He shared a trending Weibo post with me, Liu Ruyan borrowing money. In the show, she and other guests were invited to pretend to be scammers and borrow money from the first contact in their phone book. Liu Ruyan directly drafted a text message. Can you lend me some money? Card number triplex. I clicked on the live broadcast replay. It turned out the production team asked the guests to pretend to be scammers and borrow money from the first contact in their phone book. Liu Ruyan chose me. Everyone laughed at her, saying if someone fell for that, then the other person must be an idiot. But Liu Ruyan's eyes quietly reddened. She whispered, How can he still be so foolish after all these years? Then came the call where I was educated on improving my anti-fraud awareness. I clicked on the comment section. Several popular comments were displayed. Who is this G Boda? He's actually the first contact in my goddess's phone book. This nickname is really something. It's doting yet helpless. It's just so telling, it's all set up. Could this gentleman's entire savings be gone? This G Boda is 100% someone who likes my goddess. Otherwise, how could he fall for such a low-level trick? Only when facing someone you like does your IQ drop to a negative number. My scalp tingled a bit. I never thought that one day My name would actually appear in Liu Ruyan's gossip news, and we were just ordinary classmates. In school, I sat in the first row, and she sat in the last row. We were at the furthest points in the classroom, on a diagonal. I was the math class representative. She was the big sister of the back row. Every time it was time to collect homework, Liu Ruyan was usually joking around with a group of her little fangirls in the back. The most I ever said to her was, "Hand in your homework." She would always lazily reply, "Haven't written it." I would blush and helplessly urge her, "Then write it quickly." She would always look at me with a smile, and with a flick of her chin say, "Lend me yours to copy." Back then, I was always too shy to look up at her. I'd lower my head, toss the homework book to her, and leave. Behind me, I would always hear the class. Girls teasing. They'd say, "Our class rep is blushing. Does he like our sister Liu?" Liu Ruyan would always impatiently shoo them away, saying, "Go, go, go, don't talk nonsense." I still don't know why Liu Ruyan nicknamed me back then. Little fool. I'm not stupid, I thought to myself. Actually, after Liu Ruyan hung up, she transferred 5.2 million to me. Now I can't transfer it back to her, I stammered, telling my brother what happened later. What should I do? My brother's loud voice immediately came through the phone. Then why don't you quickly throw your resignation letter at your boss's bald head? You've become a rich young master. Who cares about that pathetic little job anymore? My dear Dagig, don't forget me when you get rich. Quick, let your little brother hug your leg. I rubbed my head, still clueless. Just then, Liu Ruyan's incoming call suddenly lit up my phone screen. I took a deep breath and answered. Jiboda, my classmate, do you have time to meet today? How about after work today? It's also a good chance to return that unexpected windfall to her. Okay, I'll wait for you. It was a high-end private restaurant. After hanging up, I became absent-minded. Although it was just old classmates meeting up, she was a big star now, after all. I actually felt nervous, like before an online date. Every second felt like a year. To pass the time while slacking off, I couldn't help but tell my brother about meeting Liu Ruyan. Oh, damn! Holy crap. Quick, tell me. Did you two have an affair back then? No, really, we were just ordinary classmates. I lent her 5 yuan back then. Jiboda, you really are a love-struck fool. You lent her money back then, and now she says she's broke. And you've handed over all your life savings. And you still say you two didn't have an affair? Even ghosts wouldn't believe that. I don't care. Get me an autographed photo first. She's my goddess. If you ask if I liked Liu Ruyan back then, I probably did. Many boys in class liked Liu Ruyan. She was pretty, outgoing, could play the piano, and sang beautifully. In school, such a girl was naturally a dazzling presence. Her desk was always piled high with colorful love letters. However, my feelings for Liu Ruyan were nothing more than a silent, secret crush. My younger self was too unremarkable. My face was still childish, and I had a very dated bowl cut. I was just an introverted, small-town academic. Every time I met her by the sports field, I didn't even dare to look up and say hello. That "I like you" naturally remained unspoken. Our most frequent interaction was exchanging homework. He would stroll from the back row to the very front. He'd place both our assignments on my desk. I've handed in my homework. Then he'd pull a few pieces of chocolate from his school uniform pocket and toss them onto my desk. Here, take these if I can't finish them. Then he'd swagger away coolly. Back then, many boys heard he liked chocolate and would secretly slip chocolates into his desk. So after he finished copying my homework, he'd toss a few pieces my way as thanks. School days are always beautiful yet fleeting. On the day the college entrance exam ended, everyone frantically took photos to preserve their youthful memories. Downstairs at the dorm, declarations of love echoed one after another. But I still didn't have the courage to tell Liu Ruyan that I liked her. I didn't even have the courage to ask her for a photo. Our only photo together was the graduation picture. What secretly delighted me was that she stood behind me, smiling with crescent-shaped eyes. At the very end of our youth, Liu Ruyan found me. Hey, Jiboda classmate, can I get your phone number? We exchanged phone numbers. She saw I had saved her as Liu Ruyan, and domineeringly changed it to Liu Ruyan, the most gentle and beautiful in the world. I couldn't help but laugh. She raised an eyebrow and teased me. You look quite handsome when you smile. I blushed again, feeling embarrassed. She curved her lips. Jiboda. There's a singing competition. I signed up for it. But I don't have any money. Can you lend me some money for a train ticket? I hastily, blushing, took out all the money in my wallet. A total of 520 yuan. This amount is quite good. She shook the bills. When I become famous, I'll pay you back 5.2 million. I couldn't help but laugh again. She stood in the sunlight and waved at me, smiling radiantly. Jiboda, classmate. You look really good when you smile. Smile more often from now on. That talent show during that summer vacation became incredibly popular everywhere. Liu Ruyan stood out from the many contestants and won the championship. In that summer of blooming sunshine, she really became famous. After the show ended, I received a text message from Liu Ruyan. "Did you see it?" I replied, "My sincere congratulations to you." For many days after that, we didn't contact each other. The last text message was sent by her in the early hours of one morning. "I'll pay back the money. Boda classmate, I wish you all the best. Liu Ruyan, I also wish you all the best." After that, we completely lost contact and never met again. However, I often saw her in entertainment news, in variety shows, on the screens of shopping malls in the city center, and in the familiar songs drifting from street corners. Over the years, Liu Ruyan was like a potential stock, soaring all the way, becoming a shining star on stage. I openly slacked off until 6 p.m. The boss suddenly announced, "Come on, everyone. Let's have a quick meeting." At 6:30 p.m., Liu Ruyan texted, "Are you almost here?" I replied apologetically, "Sorry. The boss forced overtime today." "How about another day?" she replied. "It's fine, I'll wait a bit longer." Anyway, I felt quite bad that day. After an hour and a half of overtime, I looked at myself in the mirror for a long time before leaving. My 25-year-old self seemed to be getting further and further from my 18-year-old self. I learned how to dress and groom myself. The inferiority and timidity of my 18-year-old self also gradually faded with time and experience. Even so, when I saw Liu Ruyan, I still felt an inexplicable nervousness in my heart. In the huge restaurant, she was the only customer. Although I often saw her on my phone and TV, after many years having a living person stand before me, felt both familiar and strange. She was wearing a light purple long dress, which made her look exceptionally elegant. Her clearly defined jawline outlined her distinct facial features. It seemed she had shed some of the youthful innocence of her younger days. "Hi, Liu Ruyan. Long time no see," I hastily greeted her. When she saw me, her eyes paused slightly. Then she smiled gently at me. "You've changed a lot." I felt inexplicably nervous again. "You've become even more handsome. You've also become more beautiful," I replied softly. "Coming out to dinner alone with me? Won't your wife be angry?" A hint of playful shyness appeared on her face, and she slightly raised her eyebrows. "I don't have a wife," I replied. "Then a girlfriend?" "No," I mumbled. "Haven't you dated anyone all these years?" Her gaze held a playful curiosity and inquiry. "No," I immediately felt so embarrassed. Like a 3-no product. "Too busy with work, no time to date," I added, finding an excuse for myself. What a coincidence. "Me too, anything you want to eat is fine." "Then let's try their steak." In short, the atmosphere became awkward, especially since there were only the two of us in the spacious restaurant. Until the waiter brought a steak and placed it in front of me, while in front of Liu Ruyan was a vegetable salad. "Aren't you eating?" I was a little surprised. "Can't eat dinner. It'll make me gain weight. The camera adds 10 pounds, she explained, a little aggrieved. Actually, you're already quite thin. Being too thin isn't good for your health." I originally wanted to comfort her, but Liu Ruyan turned her head to look at me. "I'm not too thin, am I?" I realized, no, you're just right. On camera, Liu Ruyan's figure looks just right. In person, I actually feel she's a bit thin. No wonder people say that celebrities who look thin on camera are actually bamboo pole thin in person. And classmate Boda. "My health is very good," Liu Ruyan added. This sudden remark left me speechless again. "What I mean is, dieting is bad for your health," I quickly explained. She raised an eyebrow and looked at me, then cut me a piece of steak. My knife and fork stopped midair, a little abruptly. I don't know what I was thinking. I somehow, by some strange impulse, cut a piece and gave it to her. She actually ate that piece of steak with my fork. Why didn't she just order a new one? Surely she's not that stingy with money, is she? Or is she poor after transferring the money to me? No way, aren't all celebrities rich? A single haute couture outfit costs millions. I suppressed the many questions in my mind, and still talked to Liu Ruyan about the main topic. "That money, Liu Ruyan, I can't take it." She slowly poked at her plate of green vegetables in front of her. "It was originally meant to be returned to you. Didn't we agree it was just a joke back then?" "I didn't take it seriously," I quickly explained. "I did take it seriously. This is what you deserve. You could say you were my earliest angel investor, but I can't accept this money." Liu Ruyan didn't seem to want to continue this topic. She slowly raised her head and looked at me. "What kind of work are you doing now?" Graphic design." I was a bit taken aback by her sudden change of topic. I was a bit out of it. I don't know why, but I foolishly asked, "And you?" She couldn't help but laugh. "Singer, celebrity." The air was silent for a moment. I composed myself and asked again, "Do you have social insurance and housing provident fund?" She suppressed a smile, her lips curved, and raised an eyebrow at me. She said seriously, "No social insurance or housing provident fund. No weekends off. And no overtime pay." I laughed. "Then you celebrities have it pretty tough too, huh?" "Indeed." Another awkward silence. I really know how to kill a conversation. Actually, I'm also a fan of yours. I tried to ease the awkward atmosphere. Really? How come I've never seen you at a concert? Your tickets are too expensive. Not only expensive, but also hard to get. Next concert, I'll invite you to come. Liu Ruyan's lips curved into a faint smile, her eyes fixed on me. Then can you give me an autograph? I suddenly remembered the task my brother gave me. I took out the photo and pen. Sure. She took it and signed her name with a flourish. And can you write another sentence? Sure, what should I write? Liu Ruyan smiled casually. I was a bit embarrassed. I stammered, write, wishing my wife Bao Lianlian more and more beautiful. Liu Ruyan's smile froze. Suddenly her face darkened. Who is Bao Lianlian? My brother's girlfriend. No, don't. All your fans call their idols wife. Liu Ruyan raised an eyebrow. Her eyes twinkled with a smile. I forced myself to reply. But don't misunderstand, I don't call you that. I quickly explained again. Why not? I just purely admire her. She let out a few soft laughs. I couldn't help but cringe again. Then which celebrity do you like? She looked up at me again. It's Shen Yuchu. Could you help me get an autograph? Shen Yuchu is an actress who has become very popular in recent years. She's charming and beautiful. I've followed so many of her shows. And she and Liu Ruyan are publicly known as good sisters in the entertainment industry. Many netizens even ship them as a couple. Sure, what do you want it to say? Liu Ruyan's tone was flat. She raised an eyebrow and looked at me again. Wishing my husband Ji Boda more and more handsome. My eyes lit up. Can I? Really? Is that really okay? Liu Ruyan's face completely darkened. No, why not? Aren't you two on good terms? I cautiously probed. Not so good now. She let out a soft, huh? When did that happen? I saw your show just 2 days ago. Your relationship seemed pretty good then. My gossipy heart suddenly couldn't be suppressed. This plastic friendship in the entertainment industry just now. Classmate Ji Boda, didn't you say you were my fan? Then what's the deal with Shen Yuchu? An idol, huh? I didn't realize, classmate Ji Boda. You're quite the player, aren't you? You call this a player? I scroll on Douyin for 3 hours a day. I could fall in love with 80 women. In short, that meeting was truly awkward. It was so awkward it opened the door for awkwardness. Awkwardness reached home. Liu Ruyan actually still told me, classmate Ji Boda, I had a great time chatting with you today. If you're happy, that's good. Finally, I still couldn't resist, and brought up the old matter again. That money, Liu Ruyan, was what I lent you back then, right? You really don't need to pay back so much. This meal was quite expensive, too. Just consider it repaid. Give me an account and I'll transfer it back to you. My account has some issues recently. Just keep it for now, Liu Ruyan replied indifferently. I calculated it. The interest for just 1 day was higher than my daily salary. Comparing people really makes you sigh. This is a lot of money. If you save it, the interest alone for 1 day is considerable. How about I put it in a demand deposit for you first? Okay. Liu Ruyan took out her phone and waved it at me. Add WeChat? Is that okay? It's my first time adding a celebrity's WeChat. Wow. She couldn't help but laugh. And a celebrity is actively asking for your WeChat. That day I added Liu Ruyan on WeChat. It felt like a dream. But looking at the string of zeros in the account, it was still real. I found a bank and deposited that huge sum. They even gave me 2 large barrels of oil. Happily, I ordered a bubble tea to reward myself. The next day, while slacking off at work, I suddenly received a WeChat message from Liu Ruyan. Classmate Ji Boda, could you help me edit some photos? I can, yes. Then I received a series of her photos. When I secretly opened them in the office, my face instantly turned red. Holy crap, isn't that Liu Ruyan? Ji Boda, where did you get such high-definition pictures? A colleague next to me glanced at my computer screen. He couldn't stop exclaiming, that figure, oh my goodness! This is too much for me! Go away, beauty is disturbing my mind. I gritted my teeth and clicked close. How is it? Liu Ruyan sent another WeChat message. Very good. I patted my reddened face. I replied, I put the money in a fixed deposit at the bank. Let me know when you can receive the payment. I'll transfer it to you. I casually mentioned the huge sum. They gave me 2 barrels of soybean oil for depositing the money. Do you still want them? Of course I do. Could I trouble classmate Ji Boda to deliver them? I was just being polite. She's a big star. How could she possibly need those 2 barrels of soybean oil? Later, I was huffing and puffing, carrying 2 barrels of soybean oil to the most expensive residential area in the city. Door-to-door delivery. It was unbelievable. There might be paparazzi outside taking pictures. Thank you, classmate Ji Boda. She took the oil from my hand and motioned for me to sit anywhere. I looked around Liu Ruyan's apartment. The apartment wasn't as big as other celebrities' homes shown on TV. The decor was simple, clean, and tidy. It didn't have much of a lived-in feel. It felt a bit like a model home. Is it strange? She noticed the curiosity in my eyes. No, not really. I thought celebrities like you would all live in those huge 400, 500 square meter penthouses, I explained. What would I do with such a big house all by myself? It would be so empty. Maybe after I get married, I can consider moving to a bigger one. She was wearing a cream-colored loungewear set. Her hair was soft and lay flat. She lacked the dazzling stage presence and had more of a sunny, girlish charm. Yours isn't small either. 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms are enough for marriage. As soon as I said it, I regretted it. She's a celebrity now. How could I measure her by ordinary people's standards? I shook my head, embarrassed, and waved at her. Well, the things have been delivered, so I'll be going now. Goodbye. Liu Ruyan leaned casually against the doorframe. With her arms crossed, she lightly raised her chin at me. Since you're already here, why don't you stay for a meal before you go? What a classic since you're already here. Eat then, eat, but I didn't expect... Liu Ruyan actually knows how to cook? A few home-style dishes. She was very familiar with them. It wasn't long before they were out of the pot and on the table. What's so strange about that? Living alone, I can only take good care of myself. She said it with a hint of grievance. Don't you celebrities all have personal assistants and stuff? I don't like being disturbed, okay? I really don't seem to be good at chatting. Or perhaps the gap between us is too big. We simply have no common topics. Every conversation quickly fizzled out. Fortunately, at this moment, a call from my dear mother saved me. Chowda! Your second aunt introduced someone to you. The girl passed the civil service exam. She's quiet and pretty. Go meet her next Sunday. My mom's loud voice boomed from the phone. Mom, I'm busy. Let's talk another time. I whispered back, covering the phone. Then you absolutely must go next Sunday. It's at that pastoral restaurant near your company. Got it, got it! I hung up the phone in a panic. I awkwardly forced a smile and explained, my mom wants me to go on a blind date. Liu Ruyan lowered her eyelids. She picked a small rib for me. She slightly stood up and served a bowl of soup to me, G-Boda classmate. Do you have any requirements for a partner? I don't have many requirements, as long as they're good to me. I silently took a sip of soup. The taste was surprisingly good. Then, what do you think of me? Liu Ruyan slowly picked up some food and spoke softly. I didn't think much of it. I casually said, you're pretty good. She then very casually asked another question. Then how about we give it a try? Realizing what she was talking about, a mouthful of soup got stuck in my throat and I choked in shock. What did you say? Liu Ruyan looked straight at me. The corners of her mouth curved upwards and said seriously, I said G-Boda classmate. How about we start dating? I was a bit stunned for a moment. My mind was blank. My expression froze. A few seconds passed. I took a deep breath. Hey, you can't be serious. Do I look like I'm joking? Liu Ruyan still looked straight at me. Her gaze was indeed as serious as could be. We're not even from the same world. What? Are you from Mars? Didn't you say as long as they're good to me? What's wrong with me? She retorted. My mind was in a complete mess. I couldn't think straight at all. You're too rich, too beautiful. Being rich and beautiful, is that my fault? Can that even be considered a flaw? She shrugged, indicating she was speechless. I was even more speechless. I, a single dog who's been single since birth, had never experienced a situation like this. After a long time, I finally dared to stammer. Why me? You shouldn't be short of guys around you. There are so many handsome guys in the entertainment industry. Besides, all these years, those who've been rumored to be her CP, and those men she's had scandals with, there are at least 8, if not 10. She peeled a large shrimp and threw it into my bowl. Because you're willing to spend money on me. I truly never expected this answer. 7 years ago, you gave me all the money you had. 7 years later, you gave me all your money again. I don't understand other things. Someone who's willing to spend money on me, that must be true love. Liu Ruyan said it with a straight face. But what she said seemed to make sense. 7 years ago, I did secretly like her. But as she rose higher and went further, and more people liked her, my feelings for her had long since slowly faded. As for giving her money, I could only say it was an subconscious desire to help her. Liu Ruyan, we're just ordinary classmates. I really didn't think that much. And we don't seem to be that close either, I explained softly. Her voice was muffled. Not that close? G-Boda classmate, aren't you being a bit heartless? Liu Ruyan suddenly stood up and leaned towards me, her tone carrying a slight displeasure. I even got a scar because of you. And you say we're not that close? She pointed to the scar above her eyebrow. I was flustered and didn't know what to do. Wasn't that from a fight when you were in school? I remembered it was Liu Ruyan's first time getting into a conflict with someone, and it was quite serious. It was said that year, she and a girl from her class got into a conflict in the dorm and fought fiercely. The other girl had a fractured rib, and she had 3 stitches above her eyebrow. but no one ever said what the specific reason was. Do you know why I fought with that person back then? Why? At that time, she was watching that kind of movie in the dorm and told others that the villain in it looked like and said many unspeakable things. So I beat him up. It was me who made everyone shut up. So that was the reason back then. A faint smile appeared on Liu Ruyan's face. Her eyes lowered to look at me. Her gaze shifted upwards. She pondered for a few seconds, then chuckled softly and looked at me again. And someone was made to stand in the corner, crying like a big dummy. Who was there with you? I remember being made to stand in the corner very clearly, because it was too embarrassing. The English teacher back then happened to be going through menopause. Her temper was unbearable. No one dared to make trouble in her class, but there was one time she was going to go over the test papers. But I, of all people, forgot mine at home. She insisted I did it on purpose. Then she punished me by making me stand at the classroom door, and she declared fiercely from the podium, "Anyone who didn't bring theirs, get out and stand there." Then Liu Ruyan openly walked out. It was my first time being made to stand in the corner. My eyes welled up outside the classroom. "Is it that serious?" she said, teasing me from beside me. I ignored her, feeling even more embarrassed. So I kept crying secretly. She just watched me and laughed from beside me. Later, she slipped a few pieces of chocolate into my pocket, saying, "Have some candy." Even now, when I think about it, I still feel a bit embarrassed. "But didn't you also forget your homework?" I retorted softly. A mischievous smile appeared on Liu Ruyan's face. A hint of ambiguity played on her lips. "Jiboda, classmate. I actually brought mine that day." I was shocked and flustered for a moment. "So are we not close?" She slowly lowered her head. Her deep eyes looked towards me. I was momentarily lost for words. "Not that close. But we know each other inside and out. Anyway, neither of us has anyone. Why don't we just settle and date?" The flush on my face froze there for a moment. I hesitated blankly for a few seconds. Gritting my teeth, I replied, "Date then, date. Anyway, I've got nothing to lose." I've never dated a celebrity before. Liu Ruyan couldn't help but burst out laughing. She chuckled and lightly patted my head. "Silly." It felt so strange. It was like I traded 2 buckets of soybean oil for a girlfriend, until Liu Ruyan took my hand and led me downstairs and drove me home. The whole way I felt like I was dreaming. Once home, I lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. I couldn't resist sending my buddy a WeChat message. "Dude, I have a girlfriend." He instantly replied, "I have a wife too. Yin Dao Ma Yi is my wife, didn't you know? It's your high school goddess, Liu Ruyan. She's my girlfriend." "Wait, no. You didn't actually get a girlfriend behind my back, did you?" "Jiboda, holy crap. You two are really together?" I gave an awkward laugh. "Anyway, I don't even know how we ended up together. I don't even know what to do." "What do you mean, what to do?" "That's Liu Ruyan, man. Who would have thought I'd actually be shipping my own buddy and my idol?" My buddy seemed a bit unhinged. He started sending a daily greeting. "Did Jiboda push down Liu Ruyan today?" "It's not that I don't want to. It's just that there's no opportunity." The next day, Liu Ruyan went out of town to record a show. So right after we made it official, it instantly turned into a long-distance relationship, and her work schedule was irregular. Sometimes she'd reply to WeChat messages after a long time. She would call me during her breaks, saying ambiguous things, teasing me until I was blushing and stammering before she'd stop. But I would receive food deliveries she ordered and packages she sent. They were all quite expensive. If I refused them, she wouldn't be happy. Holding my phone, I always felt it was extremely unreal. I didn't understand if this was what dating was like. I searched on my phone for news about Liu Ruyan. A trending headline suddenly popped up. Liu Ruyan and Ida Cheng's undeniable affection. The accompanying image was a candid shot from her latest show. Ida Cheng was speaking. Liu Ruyan was looking at him, smiling sideways. The comment section was full of people saying, "The way Liu Ruyan looks at Ida Cheng is so intense." Ida Cheng was a rising young idol. Many netizens shipped him and Liu Ruyan. The more I looked at that photo, the more it stung. I opened WeChat and sent Liu Ruyan a message. "When are you coming back?" She didn't reply for a long time. When people feel extremely insecure, they tend to overthink. I started scrolling through her past posts, doing reading comprehension on them, and imagining if she was currently flirting with some handsome guy. She had said so many strange things that day. It was hard not to overthink. I thought maybe she had liked me back then. But when I came to my senses, I realized, even if she did, what then? At 18, when you have nothing and know nothing, who would keep thinking about it? Besides, she is Liu Ruyan. As my brother would say, she's the dream of billions of young men. She's seen so many beautiful sights and met so many handsome guys. How could she still remember me, Jiboda? Maybe that day she just thought it was fun. Just a tease. Or perhaps she found it novel and wanted to try it out. To say we'd end up together, I wouldn't even believe it myself. People are like that. Once your thoughts get stuck in a loop, you can't stop overthinking. I found our graduation photo. 18-year-old Liu Ruyan stood behind me, smiling faintly. I remembered back then, after we met, I would always subconsciously lower my head. Maybe when you like someone, you subconsciously feel inferior. It was true then, and it's true now. I couldn't resist posting an update. So at the end of the story, we didn't even have a single photo together. The person who captivated my youth never once looked back at me. After a while, I felt much better. Then I deleted that post. I figured once I've indulged in my sentimentality, that's it. No one will empathize with your feelings. I opened my phone. After scrolling through a few eye candy videos shared by my brothers, my mood instantly improved. Xiao Da, remember to go to Tianyuan restaurant at 6 p.m. tonight. The girl is waiting for you there. My mom suddenly sent me a WeChat message, reminding me about the blind date. I had completely forgotten about it. Mom, I don't want to go. No one said the girl is a civil servant. She's 30 years old, 1.7 meters tall. Her conditions are excellent. Miss this chance and you won't get another. Go quickly. I gritted my teeth. Fine, I'll go. If she can flirt with other men, can't I have a candlelight dinner with another woman? Facts proved that what others say is always embellished with rhetoric. The girl they talked about, well, how should I put it? Her height, if she jumped, might reach 1.7 meters. She was quite down to earth and steady. She must have been almost 200 pounds. This woman even specifically wore a white dress. Sitting on the chair, she looked like a Michelin tire. I was even worried her belly fat would pop the buttons. The embarrassing thing was she had bought a group deal, but it couldn't be used on holidays. Then she started arguing with the staff. Ms. Wu, maybe let's just forget it. I bit the bullet and tried to persuade her. I am a reasonable person. But today, for you, I'll break the rules once, Mr. G. Mr. G, I actually have a good impression of you. You look better in person than in your photos. Although you don't have a permanent position, I don't mind. How about we try dating? If it works out, we'll get married. Damn, there are really a lot of weirdos in this world. I threw down half the meal money. You're very good, but I'm not worthy. Then I turned and left. That woman actually chased me out, which made me a bit annoyed. Boda, a lazy, drawn-out voice called out. I looked in the direction of the voice. Liu Ruyan was leaning against a pure black sports car, wearing a sun hat, waving at me to come over. Her tone carried a hint of impatience. For a moment, I felt a little guilty. But then I thought, she was the one who started being restless. Why should I feel guilty? I slowly moved in front of her. She lowered her head, her deep eyes staring at me. What are you doing? I pursed my lips and mumbled, a blind date. She suddenly let out a cold, clear laugh. She raised her hand and cupped my head. Gee, Boda, classmate. You're making things a bit difficult for me, she murmured to herself. Then suddenly she leaned down and kissed me. I was instantly embarrassed and flustered, and I was worried about what would happen if she wasn't wearing a mask and someone recognized her. I pushed her away hard. No! There are people around. The blind date on the side was already stunned, speechless. Your girlfriend looks like a celebrity. Why are you coming on a blind date with me then? Feeling helpless, I could only blush and pull Liu Ruyan into the car. That scene just scared me to death. Liu Ruyan got into the car with a sullen face, her angry gaze still fixed on my face. How is she better than me? I felt both wronged and a little angry. After thinking for a moment, I slowly squeezed out. She has a permanent position. Liu Ruyan was momentarily speechless with anger at my words. Then she retorted mockingly, She's old enough to be your mother. Older people know how to care for others, I replied, unwilling to show weakness. You just think I don't know how to care for you? Then she started the car, the engine humming loudly. I panicked a little. What are you doing? Let's go somewhere else and I'll take good care of you. Her voice was terrifyingly low. That's not what I meant, I stammered, grabbing her arm, trembling as I explained. Then what did you mean? You have a girlfriend and you're still going on blind dates? A chill flashed in her eyes. It's you who was flirting with other men first. I threw the gossip news at her. See for yourself. He burst out laughing after seeing it. He turned sideways and put his arm around me. So you were jealous, huh? He smiled. His low voice echoed in my ear, making me tingle. G. Boda, my classmate, from now on, if you have questions, just ask me directly. Don't overthink things on your own. Then he opened his phone and found a video. It was a skiing segment from their show. I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at the food. It turned out that next to Ito Cheng, several staff members were cooking. They had been filming for several hours then, starving to death. I wasn't looking at Ito Cheng with longing eyes. I was craving the food. After hearing that explanation, I couldn't help but laugh again. Ito Cheng and I aren't close in private. Many of those interactions are just for hype, and it was the same with some other people before. Actually, many things are beyond my control. Just like 7 years ago when we lost contact. After winning the championship back then, I muddle-headedly signed with an agency. I didn't understand anything. The contract was for 7 years and I couldn't date. I had to maintain a single persona. So, at that time, I didn't initiate contact again. And you, on the other hand, surprisingly never contacted me either. Liu Ruyan patiently explained to me and didn't forget to tease me. I lowered my head, feeling a bit embarrassed. She chuckled softly, pulled me into her arms and said, "Tell me, what other questions do you have in that little fool head of yours? Why did you save my contact as fool back then?" She glanced at me helplessly. A hint of tenderness flashed in her eyes. "Then let me ask you, why did everyone start teasing us as soon as you came to my desk to collect homework? Why did others start teasing us? Why did the teacher mention both our names at the same time, and someone would always laugh? Why, you ask?" Liu Ruyan helplessly ruffled my hair and sighed. "The whole world knew I liked you, only you didn't. What else could you be but a fool?" She looked at me directly, her eyes slightly curved, and finally spoke that long-awaited confession. "G. Boda, my classmate, I like you." My reaction time must have been too slow. When I came to my senses, I was crying and laughing as I replied, "Me too!" How lucky that our secret crushes were mutual. That day, Liu Ruyan and I went to an amusement park, just the two of us. She said she wanted to do everything with me that couples do on dates. At night, the amusement park's fireworks bloomed across the sky. Her eyes were filled with the starlight. "G. Boda, my classmate, if it weren't for you, telling that girl who gave you a love letter, that high school was no time for puppy love. I would have pursued you long ago. Also, I don't like chocolate. I knew someone liked it, so I deliberately gave it to you. After graduation, my parents wouldn't let me study music and cut off my money. At that time, I thought if G. Boda lent me money, I would definitely come back and marry him. Actually, those first few years were really tiring. I had to study, practice, and create hype, and I couldn't go see the boy I liked. The entertainment industry is full of truths and lies. Sometimes I regretted choosing this path. But in the end, my efforts weren't in vain. See, if it weren't for your 520 UN back then, there wouldn't be the Liu Ruyan of today. That day, she told me so many things. I understood her feelings and became even more certain of my own. From then on, I no longer worried about gains and losses. She is a public figure. So many times we couldn't date or show affection like normal couples. That's why no one knew about us, except for my brother. The first to suspect were my parents. One time when I came home, I was glued to my phone all day. My mom frowned, looking at me. "What are you grinning like an idiot at? What's on that old phone that's got you so mesmerized?" I cautiously probed. Mom, I'm dating someone." "Really? My son is finally dating." "When did you start dating? What does the girl do? Does she have a stable job? Do you have pictures?" My mom got more and more excited until her spit was flying onto my face. Stop. Stop, Mom, please stop, I'll tell you slowly. You need to be mentally prepared. First, she doesn't have a stable job. She's a singer. What can singing amount to? How much financial pressure will you two have later? But it's okay, son. Your mom and dad will back you up. Oh, she has a lot of listeners for her singing. She even held concerts. Well, Yato from our town also sings. She performs at weddings and funerals in the surrounding villages all the time. Always painted up like a ghost for her concerts. No, Mom, she's also very pretty. Silly child, don't lie to your old mom. Your old mom has attended thousands, if not tens of thousands, of banquets. I've really not seen many pretty girls. Your mom is already mentally prepared. You can only fool your naive mother like that. Besides, how much money can she make from singing? I never would have imagined that Liu Ruyan would one day be disliked like this. During the holiday, I was cooped up at home, scrolling through funny short videos. My wife Lou was working overtime recording shows. Comparing us, this office worker was secretly pleased. Missing me, my husband? Liu Ruyan's low voice came from the phone. I'm dying to see you, wife. I'm downstairs. Come rescue me. I quickly threw on a t-shirt and scurried downstairs. My little Da runs so fast. Liu Ruyan gently put one hand around my waist. Jiboda, my classmate. If you miss me, you should be more proactive. She mischievously pointed to her lips. I blushed and lowered my head, intending to give her a light peck. But she took the lead and deepened the kiss. Just as we were kissing passionately, feeling the world spin, a snicker broke the atmosphere. Why was my mother secretly watching from a distance? Liu Ruyan pushed me away. The force was so strong I stumbled and almost fell to the ground. Hello, auntie. Hello, girl. Quick, come inside and sit down. We were like high school students caught in a secret romance. Extremely shy. Hello, auntie. My name is Liu Ruyan. I'm little Da's high school classmate. What a beautiful and lively girl you are. Where are you from? What do you like to eat? The more my mother looked, the happier she became. Then she and Liu Ruyan hit it off. and secretly gave me a thumbs up from behind. Girl, we've talked for so long. Auntie likes you more and more. But as you know, we are a rural family. Our financial situation may not be very well off. I wonder how much bride price is needed on your side. Hearing this, my father also stopped smiling and quietly started smoking beside us. Only I was foolishly happy on the side. Liu Ruyan smiled slightly. She made a 5 with her left hand and a V sign with her right hand. My mother and father immediately flinched, but looking at me mesmerized by Liu Ruyan, they seemed to make some kind of decision. Then my mother quietly got up and went back to her room. Less than a minute later, my mother came out holding a bag. Girl, she said, my husband and I only have little Da as our son in this life. So Auntie still wants to ask you, do you really like my little Da? Liu Ruyan's pretty face flushed, but her eyes were filled with determination. She took my hand and softly said to my mother and father, Uncle and Auntie, I have loved Jiboda for 10 years. In these 10 years, my love for him has never changed. To be able to reach this point today to receive his response, I truly feel incredibly lucky and happy. I deeply understand that love is not just between two people, but also the integration of two families. I believe I will use my sincerity and effort to become a daughter-in-law you are satisfied with. My parents' faces were full of relief. Our son, it seems you've really found a girl whose eyes are only for you. Saying this, my mother placed the black plastic bag into Liu Ruyan's hand. Girl, here is 520,000 yuan. It's all of our life savings. Saying this, my mother looked earnestly at Liu Ruyan. Girl, from now on, little Da will be in your care. At this moment, my tears fell uncontrollably. I tried to wipe them away, but couldn't stop them. My parents' life savings, accumulated through a lifetime of frugality, were just for their son's happiness, so he could be with the girl, whose eyes were only for him happily. They emptied their life savings without even negotiating the price. Liu Ruyan looked at me, my eyes red from crying, and solemnly said to my parents, Uncle and Auntie, we are in a relationship with marriage in mind. As for the bride price, little Da has already given it to me. I don't want 520,000 nor 52,000. I only need 520 yuan. That is the proof that he loves me. That is enough. And I also have a return gift. 5.2 million yuan, Liu Ruyan smiled and politely replied. What? 5.2 million yuan? My parents' eyebrows furrowed. Girl, are you really not joking? 5.2 million yuan? My parents instantly froze. Mom and Dad, it's true. I wiped away my tears, took out my phone, found videos of Liu Ruyan online, and handed it to my mother. Look, doesn't Xiaoyan look like her? My mother quickly took the phone and compared them for a while, scratched her head and handed it to my father. My mother confirmed again, that's right, this is the girl. No, son, you found a celebrity? Liu Ruyan held my hand tightly and said softly, Uncle and Auntie, we are not acting on impulse. We both want to be together for good. I've saved some money over the years. After we get married, I plan to accompany him and do things he likes. Please rest assured, I will take good care of little Da. I know you love him. I do too. Finally, the conversation ended amidst laughter and joy. As Liu Ruyan went downstairs, I finally couldn't help myself and asked her. She replied matter-of-factly, Don't you want to give me a proper title? I was momentarily speechless, but then I thought, she's at the prime of her life. And she's a celebrity. Getting married at this time? Would it be a secret marriage or something else? In the end, I didn't ask again. She lowered her head, smiled, and ruffled my hair. Just say yes to me. She pulled a card out of her pocket and placed it in my hand. I promised to invite you to my concert, Jiboda classmate. I looked closely. It was a concert ticket. I knew she had been preparing new songs recently. Many people were looking forward to it. I had once asked her what the new song was. She was secretive and wouldn't tell me. Until the release day, I saw the trending topic, Liu Ruyan's new album, Sheng Sheng Nian Nian. That day, she posted on Weibo, Who said we don't have a solo photo together? I turned my head where you couldn't see me. The accompanying picture was of her wearing a school uniform, making a V sign and smiling in a selfie. And in the picture, there was also a back view of someone in a school uniform, and that was me. She said, Our meeting wasn't a coincidence. It was me deliberately trying to run into you, 18-year-old Liu Ruyan and Jiboda. I smiled and then cried. It's wonderful. My secret crush always had an echo. Liu Ruyan's concert for 100,000 people was held at the city's largest stadium. That day, the crowd was surging. Screams and cheers rose and fell in waves. I sat in the first row, smiling as I listened to her sing one song after another. The last song was Sheng Sheng Mie Mie. When the song finished, she stood on stage. The spotlight shone on her, and her whole being seemed to glow. She took a deep breath and slowly began, Thank you for coming to my concert. The concert hall immediately erupted in cheers. This song is dedicated to my husband, Jiboda. Back then, he lent me 520 yuan, and I took a bus to participate in the talent show. That's how I became the Liu Ruyan you see today. She looked at me without reservation, her eyes filled with gentle affection. After 7 years of striving in the entertainment industry, thank you for liking my songs. This is my last concert. I announce my retirement from the entertainment industry starting today. The venue was in an uproar. No one would have expected why Liu Ruyan would retire at the peak of her career. She refused all interviews and led me directly out from backstage. My thoughts were still lingering on her retirement announcement, and I didn't notice where she was taking me. Liu Ruyan, why? There are many reasons. For example, I don't want my hobby to become my job. I don't want to go hungry at dinner. I don't want my words and actions, or those of people around me, to be magnified and scrutinized. I don't want my boyfriend's vacation to mean I have to work overtime. I want us to be like a normal couple. Go out to eat together, go on dates, travel, and do anything we want. But without a word, she grabbed my hand and ran. Finally, we were both out of breath and teary-eyed, stopping at a familiar place. Jiboda classmate, do you still remember this place? She brought me to the path on the school's sports field. It was the path where I often encountered her. It was also where, on graduation day, she domineeringly changed her contact name in my phone to the most gentle and beautiful Liu Ruyan in the world. It was that very spot. Every time I met her, I would instinctively lower my head, not daring to meet her gaze. You pass by here around 7:10 every day. I came here at 7 every day, just to wait for those few seconds when I would see you. You looked down, I looked back. It was also here on graduation day that you lent me money. Let's do it here again today. She suddenly pulled out a diamond ring. Her fingers held a sparkling diamond ring. 7 years. I thought I had missed you for this lifetime. But that day, when you transferred all your money to me, I made up my mind. I was going to win back my boy. I was going to marry him. Jiboda classmate, let's get married. Her eyes curved into a smile and glistened with tears. I was instantly overwhelmed with emotion. Jiboda classmate, can you help me put the other ring on my finger? I knelt on one knee, holding up the remaining ring. Liu Ruyan classmate, will you marry me? I do. Liu Ruyan squeezed my finger. A doting smile. I slipped the diamond ring onto her ring finger. The school radio station played his song, Sheng Sheng Nian Nian. The last line of the lyrics was, "You are the unforgettable memory of my youth. I am the echoing sound of your secret crush."